They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe, and excuse me, I'm just getting comfortable here. Excuse me while my head pops out of frame. I want to give my final thoughts on The Flash. It's been a week since I first saw The Flash, and my first review, I said I was giving it 4 out of 5 stars. And the only thing that was dropping it down a point was some concerns about the special effects. I said if the movie comes out in a week and they've improved those visual effects, 5-star movie. Well, something's changed. It came out yesterday that director Andy Muschietti said that the special effects were intentional. The effects that I perceived to be bad special effects was a choice. It was a creative choice, according to Andy Muschietti. He wanted, when the Flash was in the Speed Force and traveling at super speed, he wanted things to look blurry and ill-defined. I interpreted that as bad special effects, but it was actually the intent of the director because he thought moving at super speed, Barry would see things a little blurrier and not as crisp and clear as in the real world when we're moving at a normal speed. The only problem with this is you have to let the audience kind of know. You have to let the audience know that that is the way, like on Star Trek The Next Generation, when Geordi has his visor on, there were a couple episodes where we saw what Geordi sees through his visor and it doesn't look real, but they told us, they're like, Geordi had mentioned that, you know, he experiences headaches and he doesn't see things the way we see them. So when you see it, you get it. You're like, oh, that's how Geordi sees the world. So maybe if there was like a line where the Flash said something like, you know, when I'm traveling at super speed, things aren't clearly defined. They're a little blurrier. Then the audience understands what he's seeing. So that could have been explained better in the narrative. But I do got to say, his explanation makes perfect sense. It really does. The Flash is traveling at super speed. Of course, maybe he's not going to see the world the way we do. So now knowing that that was a creative choice, and quite frankly, that answer passes the smell test. You know, the smell test when you have a carton of milk and you don't know if the carton of milk is good or bad. So you sniff it to see, does it smell good? Does it smell bad? And if it smells rotten, it doesn't pass the smell test. You get rid of that milk. You don't drink the milk. If it smells okay, pass the smell. You pour yourself a cup or pour it on your cereal, whatever you're doing with that milk. And quite frankly, this explanation passes the smell test. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Of course, the Flash traveling at super speed, he would see things blurry. And from a production standpoint side, it makes sense that this was an intentional choice because I said it's kind of unbelievable that a bad effect would make it that far into the process without somebody saying, whoa, what's with this effect? So knowing that that was the intent also explains how it got all the way through production. So knowing what I know now, I'm comfortable bumping this up to a 5-star movie. It is definitely a 5-star movie. I love it. I've seen it twice. I think it is the best movie I've seen this year. Previously, that was Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now it's The Flash. The Flash is the best movie I've seen this year. It is the second best DC movie after the original Shazam. And as for special effects, I said this before. I was on a stream the other day with a little movie perp, I believe it was, and I said, special effects are important, but they're not that important. They are a tool to tell a story. They're just a tool to tell a story. The bottom line is the story. Is the story good? And let me give you a perfect example. The Last Starfighter. This is one of the greatest movies of the 80s. I love this movie. It's a true classic. These special effects didn't even look good in 1984. It was one of the first movies to use CGI effects, and they were rough CGI effects. The technology had not been perfected yet. It didn't look good then. It doesn't look good now, but it's still a phenomenal movie. Another one of the greatest science fiction TV shows of all time, Babylon 5. Again, CGI effects done on an Amiga computer that looked kind of fake in 1993. So So this never looked good, these special effects. But the series was so well written, so smart, one of the best sci-fi TV shows of all time. The special effect is just a tool. The question you got to ask yourself is, how is the story? And The Flash, the story is excellent. The cast is excellent. The characters are excellent. This movie is as good as it gets, quite frankly, in terms of the superhero genre, and just in terms of movies in general. As a blockbuster crowd pleaser, this movie delivers the goods. So I'm now comfortable bumping it up from 4 to 5 stars. Another example I'll give where I think it's very possible for the audience to not comprehend what the effect they're seeing is supposed to signify is the 2011 Green Lantern movie. In the 2011 Green Lantern movie, they took a lot of criticism for the fact that Ryan Reynolds wore a CGI costume. It got made fun of. People were like, oh, he had a CGI costume. It looked horrible. It was a joke. It was blah, blah, blah. But what a lot of these people don't understand is that CGI costume made sense to the character. In the comics, Green Lantern's costume is a construct of his ring. It's not a cloth or spandex suit that he puts on. It's something that the ring projects on him. That is the story. That is what that is. So no matter what, I know a lot of people don't like the Green Lantern movie. Whatever criticisms you may have about the Green Lantern movie, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you got to love that movie, because, there are a lot of criticisms about that movie. But the one unfair criticism was the CGI costume, because the CGI costume legit made sense for the character. And that's one area where I always thought that they took crap that they didn't deserve, because that CGI costume really did make sense, because the costume was a projection construct of the ring. It's that way in the comics. It's that way on the cartoons, everything. So that's just what that suit is. So I think with The Flash, we have another case of that where the director has a vision. This is what this effect should look like. But the audience maybe doesn't understand that that's what is going on. And I was guilty of it myself, because I came in here in my previous review and trashed those effects. And I'm now willing to give them a total pass, knowing that the director... And also, the effects are spectacular in most of the movie. Like, in most of the movie, the special effects are great. It's only in a couple scenes. There's this... And scenes where the Flash is traveling in slow motion. So you can really see... No, they did kind of make a deliberate choice in this scene, in this scene, in this scene. Because it's not like the whole movie had sloppy effects. It was just this scene, and when the director explains, well, this is what I was going for in that scene, it kind of clicks together. So, 5 out of 5 stars now for The Flash. And let me tell you something else. Some other news came out overnight. Last night, and if this isn't a show of confidence for The Flash, I remember when James Gunn came out and was calling The Flash like one of the greatest superhero movies he ever saw. There were naysayers out there going, he just has to say that. He has to say that because he's selling the movie. I don't believe him. He's the head of DC. He's got to sell this movie, so he's making it up. Well, director Andy Muschietti, as of last night, was officially announced by Variety. Not some no-name source. Variety has announced that it is official. Andy Muschietti, director of The Flash, is directing the next Batman movie. Batman, Brave and the Bold, the first Batman movie in James Gunn's DCU. It's going to be Andy Muschietti. So that just tells you right there. That tells you everything you need to know. James Gunn clearly was impressed with this movie, because he went and got the director and said, we got to keep working with you. You turned out a phenomenal film here, and we want to keep working with you. I'm excited that Muschietti's doing Brave and the Bold. I just hope this doesn't take him off the table for Flash 2, because I really want to see him do Flash 2, because he knocked this one out of the park. And I definitely want to see him come back to this franchise. But Muschietti doing Brave and the Bold, I'm there. Just bring in Christina Hodson. Christina Hodson was the other half of the success of this film. She wrote the screenplay. Keep her on board. Let's get her to write the screenplay for Brave and the Bold. And we are in business. We are in business. And also, if you've seen this movie, looks like we know who our next Batman is. Looks like we know who our next Batman is, because this movie resets the universe, so I think we know who our next Batman is, which kind of contradicts something we had been told previously. I'm not going to say, go see the movie. I'm not giving spoilers here, but it does kind of contradict something we heard previously, and I think there are ways that A and B can both be true. We'll get into that at another time when we do some kind of spoiler review. But right now, because it's opening weekend, we are going to continue to keep it spoiler free. All right, everybody, go see The Flash. Playing now. Really good movie. Best movie you're going to see this year. Well, the best movie you're going to see in the first 6 months of this year. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe something, there's 6 more months to the year. Something better could very likely come out. But the best movie of the first 6 months of the year. Let's put it that way. And it's playing in theaters everywhere now. We've waited so long for this. We have waited so long for this. This movie's been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. It's delayed no more. It's in theaters now. It's in theaters today. You can go right now. Get off your couch and go see this movie. I'm excited. Seeing it again. I've already got tickets for my next screening. It'll be my 3rd. All right, everybody. Keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.